Hi guys, this is Jean from Happy Indulgence, and today I'm going to be going through my April book haul. Even though it's a bit late for April, but you know what, I've been super busy and this is what you get. I'm just going to go through all the books that I was sent by publishers and also the books that I purchased this month, which wasn't much. Or last month. The first book I got is All of This Is True, written by Ligia de Penaflor, and basically this is a thriller from Bloomsbury, Australia. Look how cool this arc is. So it basically switches text, so that says tell me everything, and then you turn it around and it says you can trust me. I really love the premise of this. Basically it's about an author who moves into the same town as these 4 fans, and they get really close to the author and they start divulging all their secrets to her, and suddenly they find that she's taken all their secrets and written it into her latest book. And that's obviously a bit of a thriller because it's every bookworm's dream that your favorite author lives near you or befriends you as well, and that just sounds super fascinating, and this is a proof copy. It's absolutely gorgeous. The next book I got is from Penguin Random House, and this one is Leah on the Offbeat, written by Becky Albertalli. Obviously this is one of the companion novels to the Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda book. So obviously the movie Love, Simon was based off that book as well. And this book is about Leah, who is Simon's best friend, and she's also bisexual but hasn't come out to her friends yet. Leah was a really interesting character in that original novel because she's got a really sarcastic outlook on life. She's a bit bitter as well at the world, and I'm really enjoying her perspective so far. She's just sarcastic and blunt. She's a fat protagonist as well, so it's really great to see that representation. So far I'm really enjoying this book because she's obviously completely different to Simon, and she's also really different to Molly from The Upside of Unrequited. So I'll let you guys know what I think about this book in my wrap up for May. The next book I bought is The Heart Forger by Rin Chupeco, and this is the sequel to The Bone Witch, which also came out last year. I picked this up because my friend Piera Ford basically said this is the best book that she's read all year, and that's huge coming from her. Basically The Bone Witch, it was a really interesting book about necromancers. They have a power and they're sort of like tea witches as well. So it was just a really detailed fantasy read based off geishas, and I found that really fascinating. Even though the first book was super slow, super detailed and intricate, I still enjoyed the world building, and I can't wait to see what the Heart Forger is. Apparently this one is a lot more action packed as well. Part of the Spearcraft book box last month was The Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. Look how beautiful this hardback is. It is so gorgeous, and I'm so lucky to get this book as part of my box subscription. Basically, if you haven't heard me raving about this book yet, I'll link my review to it down below on my blog, but I love this book so much. It's just a really different fantasy based on the Black Lives Matter movement, but set in a fantasy world that is so different to our own, and it's basically based off different tribes and different clans. They each have different powers, and they're oppressed by the king because he's scared of their magic, and it was just brutal, it was bloody, it was filled with twists and turns, and I just love the setting. So this one was a 5-star read for me, and guys, look how gorgeous this is. I mean, look at the metallic bits. Oh my gosh, I love books that are gorgeous. From Scholastic Australia, and this is Not If I Save You First by Ali Carter. So this is basically about a girl who is best friends with a guy, but her dad he's a Secret Service agent, and he's moved her into this secluded Alaskan cabin. But her best friend Logan doesn't come to save her, so what she needs to do is she wants to save him and then kill him. So it sounds like a really interesting thriller read. If you've read any other Ali Carter books like The High Society and stuff, you'll know what her writing's like. It's just really pacey, really smart. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. It was actually an unsolicited review copy, but I love my thrillers, so we'll see how it goes. I also got from Scholastic the 13th Reality Journal of Curious Letters by James Dashner, also the author of The Maze Runner. Basically, this is a middle grade read. I don't really know much about it because the blurb is quite vague as well. It says, reality is in danger of splitting at the seams, and I hope you have the courage of heart to help. You will soon receive 12 clues, solve them and face an important destiny. don't and many lives will be at risk. The decision is yours. So it kind of reminds me of the 13th Clue sort of book. So it sounds like this is a kind of spin-off as well. Another unsolicited copy I got is Flying Tips for Flightless Birds. Look how gorgeous the cover is, and this is by Kelly McCochrane. This is from Walker Books Australia. It's basically about two people who are in the circus and their act is the flying trapeze. So basically they're twins and one of them suffers from an accident, and it's sort of about the aftermath of that, about how they can keep on saving the circus, and it says that there's also first love, freaking out. One of the twins must team up with a geeky kid from school, and it's a bit about that as well. So it sounds like quite a young YA read, but yeah, as I said, gorgeous cover, interesting premise. The next book is The Wonder of Us by Kim Culbertson, and this one is also from Walker Books Australia. So I haven't heard too much about this book so far, but it's about a girl who moves away with her family to Berlin, and then she struggles to be there for her best friend. So they decide that the best way to deal with that is to invite her best friend over to Europe, and together they'll go on a trip. So it sounds like a bit of a like traveling friendship story. I love the sound of that, and it's actually blurred by Jennifer Neven. So the next book I got is Sunflowers in February, and this is from Phillida Shrimpton, and this is a Hotkey Books book. I love the cover, it's so gorgeous. This book premise, to be honest, it sounded a lot like Before I Fall. It's basically about a girl called Lily who wakes up on the side of the road. She doesn't know how she got there. She realizes that she's dead. So basically no one can see her or hear her, and yeah, it's a bit about that and about how she died as well. And yeah, like it sounds like a really familiar plot premise, so I'm not sure if I'll end up reading this, but it's great for fans of that sort of trope as well. The next book I got is Clean by Juno Dawson, and this is from Quercus, and oh my gosh, just look how beautiful this arc is. I'm not sure if you can see on the camera or if there's glare, but it's just this beautiful rose gold metallic cover. So this one's really interesting because on the back it says it's for readers 14 plus years old, but it's actually about a socialite who overdoses and she ends up in rehab, and there she becomes friends with like fellow inmates. So it's a bit about getting clean, about rehab, about drug use as well. I've heard really good things about this book. It's a bit of a darker subject matter, but I like how YA can delve into these subject matters, and it's important for people to read and understand these things rather than, you know, just washing it out. So this one is The Learning Curves of Vanessa Partridge, and that's written by Claire Strahan, and it's from Allen and Unwin Australia, also an unsolicited review copy, so thank you for sending it to me. This one sounds so interesting, guys. It's basically about like sexual consent, about having secret lustful fantasies, if there's anything wrong with that. It's about a good girl called Vanessa. She's a cello player, and basically she loves her brother's best friend, and it's really interesting. Van wrestles with ideas of consent and desire and what it means to want and be wanted. And I'm like, oh, okay, sounds like there's a bit of like sexual desire in here, which is also important in a YA novel to touch on. So it sounds like it's an interesting read. The last book for this book haul is My Arc of Legendary, which is the sequel to Caraval, and this one's by Stephanie Garber. Look guys, it's the prettiest personalized arc I've ever received, and it goes, the game has only begun, Jean, and it's spelt right too. Look how gorgeous it is. I mean, I love how beautiful Caraval was as well. It obviously has a matching spine, and I haven't read too much about this one. I'm not quite sure what it's about, but it's obviously the sequel to Caraval, which is like a circus read about this mysterious game, and each and every person are pawns in this game, and it's got a bit of magic and a lot of like intrigue and mystery, which I actually quite enjoyed, even though there were a few triggers in there. So basically the blurb sounds like it's going to begin again, but in obviously a different setting. It's again about another game as well, so I can't wait to see how it is, how it ties into the first book, and pretty much how it reads as well. So I'm not going to lift up my entire book haul because it's like super heavy, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know in the comments down below if you want me to pick up anything, if you have thoughts on any of the books. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.